All right, so we're gonna be doing this quickly here. We are gonna be
Okay.
like I'm gonna. We're gonna start recording here momentarily.
All right, nice. Let me run
That.
to take a quick pee because my old age. Ah,
Okay, that works.
to get at my old age. I'm like a dinosaur.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna need that up, actually. Okay. My phone. I'm gonna do this real quick though. I do have to do this. Is a check, 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 check.
Yeah, shit. Tomorrow. I keep this going again. That's the only way I can get it again. All right, I'm back.
All right.
So you boot it.
Hold on a second.
Duh.
All right, we sound good. Sound check is done.
All right, cool.
The sound check is done. Thy sound check is done. Send it to Ryan. Send it to Tony. Send it to the crew. Send it to you. Send it to you. Send it to you. Send it to you. And send. And then we go to here. We go to Facebook. I hit next and share. And then, like, legit rapid fire here. Hit
And
this.
I have a question for you in the audience.
Uh huh.
So I don't know when I'm going to throw that in there. It happened last year, so. But I figure I would bring it up and see what type of response we get with it. What the hell am I getting stuck on?
And and just like that, we are pretty much ready.
That's right.
I do want to mute every fucking chat under the sun.
Oh, yeah. The chats.
We'll just go for an hour. I don't know if I muted the crew or not. Nope, I did not.
Make sure my phone is on mute. Oh.
Move this to here.
Ouch. She fall?
Who?
Oh, Sarah's watching Live Rescue right now, a recorded episode. This lady looks like she either got punched in the nose or she fell.
Well, I mean, neither are good.
No, not at all.
You see my tweaks to our pick'ems?
No, I didn't.
I've changed up the scoring.
Oh, okay, all right.
For a win, you get 2 points. If your sleeper pick wins, you get 5 points. A sleeper is someone who has less than 5 Cup Series wins. Just for a better finish, you get 1 point. You can use a driver 2 times as your pick to win. In the playoffs, it resets, but you can only use it once in the playoffs.
All right.
And sleepers are unlimited.
All right, good. Unlimited sleepers and no 5 wins. All right.
And for this week, if you can get the first caution lap right, you get half a point. But you have to get it right.
Huh.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You got the stage lengths, by the way?
On one of them.
Daytona 500 stage.
I am rolling intro.
Go ahead.
Hey, gentlemen, start your engines! I guess I'm out of
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a quick turnaround special Monday edition of the Loose Lugs podcast. I'm your host, AJ. With me, as always, is my co-host, Ryan.
What is going on, AJ? How are you doing?
Oh, man, it was so fun to see cars back on track this weekend, man.
You have no idea, man. You know, Saturday morning, hanging out with Logan. Sarah's at work. We're watching a couple movies, a lot of his music that he likes. But 11:30 came on, and I'm like, all right, sorry, Logan. And we turned on the practice for the Busch Clash, and Logan was definitely entertained. So, but yeah, definitely not like you said, AJ. Awesome to see cars back on track.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely fun. You're kind of like that Dale Jr. tweet from yesterday after the Clash was over, and he was like, well, now I got to put on Peppa Pig.
Yeah, that was great. See, that's a good thing. We don't watch Peppa the Pig in this house because we went to Coney Island. This was maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that. And they do these character dress-ups. They did a Batman, which the costume was incredible. But they did this Peppa the Pig costume, and it scared the crap out of me. Like, I don't know what in the world it was about this Peppa the Pig thing.
So you are scared of Peppa the Pig?
Yes, I do. I am not a fan of Peppa the Pig.
For the listeners out there, for whenever you see Ryan during Halloween time, make sure you have a Peppa the Pig costume. Make sure you send it to him. So this way you can just freak him out a little bit.
Oh, geez, thanks, guys.
This is episode 74 of the Loose Lugs podcast. I don't know if I said that earlier, so I just want to make sure I get that out there now.
You may have.
But man, like Saturday, like I sat around all morning just waiting for practice to start, and I don't remember a time I've ever done that.
Yeah, it just the season's right around the corner. Speed Weeks is finally here, and I'm ready for Thursday. I'm ready for the duels. Let's get these duels here. Let's go. Let's get to the 500. Let's get the truckers out there and the Xfinity cars out there. So
it's really turned into pretty much just a speed week, though. I mean, you get the Clash and qualifying on Sunday, and then you got practice Saturday. It's really only turned into a 1 week thing, but I heard a lot of guys this weekend talk about, like, for 2 weeks solid, they'd be at the track, and it's not like that anymore. You're only there for a week, maybe a couple days max, or minimum.
Oh, Kozlowski's going to Disney World.
He's going with Joey Logano today.
Yeah. Imagine they bump into each other on a ride. Joey's probably trying to block him getting to the next roller coaster or what. Well, I haven't been to Disney in forever, so
Patrick, 6 more days to Daytona in our chat. That is right. We are Ryan Newman days away.
yes, we
Speaking of
are.
Ryan Newman, thought he was going to win yesterday. I
I
really
thought-
thought he was going to come around for the win.
I thought so too, and I know we're gonna dive into it later, but I tell you what, the Fords look good, and the Toyotas are looking pretty good.
Yeah. Speaking of the weekend, Ryan, Saturday, I missed the ARCA race. I had to watch it on DVR. I went short track, Saturday night style.
I seen the videos you sent. You had some pretty good seats there.
Yeah, a buddy of mine races out at the local track, 417 Southern Speedway. Races in the Pro Truck Series. This is his only his third race, and set the track record during qualifying, and then proceeded to finish second during the race. Thought he got jumped on the restart, but on a restart of a caution, he got jumped while he was in the lead. I felt, but regardless, came home with a second place finish. So all in all, it was a good night.
Nice. And what was the track record he set, by the way? Do you know the time and speed?
I mean, I can pull it up for you. I can't remember what it was now. It was 15 something.
Oh, nice.
And like I said, for only his third race, I mean
Yeah, no kidding.
that is pretty impressive to have.
He listens to Harry Hogg. Drop the hammer.
Yeah. Jeez, I'm trying to find it because yeah, I mean it was pretty impressive. It's right here actually.
And you said his third time out.
Only his
Sets the
third
track-
time out in the pro truck. Raced the V8 Bombers there for a little bit, but he set the track record at a 15.761,
Oh, nice.
and then came close to that during the race. I thought,
No, no kidding.
and they were
And
they were the feature event too of the night, so that was
very
pretty
cool.
cool.
And what time did the feature start, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
This was a smaller race. Feature started, I'd say, like 9 o'clock. No, yeah, about 9 o'clock, because I know that they had the Outlaw Modifieds there. Not the Outlaw Modifieds. Well, actually, I think that is the name of the class.
Oh, okay.
But regardless, they pushed them to the last race because they had a long red flag in the... what race was it they had the long red flag in? It might have been Pure Stock or late models. I can't remember. I can't remember what class it was, but they had a red flag and
Oh, all right.
it was really long, so they decided to put the modifieds back because they run on a curfew. I think it's either 11 or 12.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
curfew, so.
When we go up to the dirt track up at Merritt Speedway, it's in the middle of nowhere. I think the nearest house is like 4 or 5 miles. Maybe not right on top of the speedway. I think there's a house across the street, but they have no curfew up there. That's why last year when my brother and I went, the first main event, and there was 5 or 6. I think there was 5 main events, and the first main event got underway at 10:45.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
And
that's a
I'm
long night.
I'm like, oh man. So we stayed for a couple of them, and then I had to get back and help out with Logan. So like I said, I mean, we enjoy going up there. We still see some good racing though, but with the main events not starting until almost quarter to 11, you're not getting out of there till 1 o'clock. It's like, man, it's a long day at the racetrack.
Well, a good friend of the show, Pat, my friend Pat, a good friend of the show. His dad actually drag races out in Bradenton, up in Bradenton. And they had a curfew of 11 o'clock for drag racing. And the reason for the curfew being put in place was there was a lawyer who I guess lived a mile or something away that you could still hear loud, clear as day, the race cars from the track late into the wee hours of the morning. So he did his whole lawyer deal and got them to put a curfew in place, or there was going to be a big lawsuit or something along those lines. Well, a couple years later now, and now that same lawyer decides he's going to drag race down at the track. So,
oh, nice, very nice.
It's pretty pretty interesting.
I get why these tracks have the the curfew and everything like that. But like I said, up at Merritt Speedway, you can Google it, the track map and all that, and you won't see a house. You know, like you'll still begin because the sound will travel, but they don't care up there.
No. I mean, it's go to your local short track, man.
Yes, yes.
Keep short track racing alive because to me, besides NASCAR, there's nothing better.
Short track, dirt track, you name it.
I need to get
Let's
to a
do it
dirt
all.
track, man. I've been watching that Hunt the Front on YouTube,
Yeah.
and man, I watched them go out there and race on dirt at Southern Speedway, up in the Panhandle, and that looks like so much fun. I got to get out to one of those.
Last year, Merritt had a thing on. I think it was. I don't know if it was YouTube, but it was an app that my dad and Sarah's parents told us about. That hey, Merritt Speedway's showing features on your on this website, and we got the website and everything, and we ended up watching. The only problem was the camera guy. He was always focusing on first, and he wouldn't pan out to other battles on track to get into the show and anything like that. I'm like, come on, but it was still cool to see on the computer. I think it was the day of the All-Star race. I think.
Didn't care about nothing else though, huh?
No, he was always focused on the leaders. And if they had a Twitter, I was going to tweet, "Hey, focus on other battles around the track. There's not just the leader out there because the leader, pull away by a few feet and all that, and it's." It was something new and it worked. We enjoyed watching it.
How was you do anything else this weekend? Anything fun this weekend?
Played Xbox.
Still have not been on that in a long time.
Speaking of which, today's Monday, and I'm listening to one of the radio stations up here, 89X. They're based out of Windsor, but they are in the Detroit area. And guys, like, at 3 o'clock, I got a major concert announcement. First of all, Megadeth and Lamb of God was already announced today as well. For Sarah's sake, Backstreet Boys was announced as well, too. So she's pretty excited about that. But then at 3 o'clock rolls around, and I'm not anywhere near radio, so I had to check the Facebook page. Rage Against the Machine is playing Little Caesars Arena.
Man, that's awesome because the closest show to me is in North Carolina. I was looking today at their schedule, and I was upset.
They're not going anywhere near
Nope.
North Carolina. Wow. And I want to go so bad. I seen them back in 2007. Our a good friend of ours, Jeff, and his brother Justin. We went up to East Troy, Wisconsin, which is a venue they're playing this time around as well. We went up there to see them, and it was them and Queens of the Stone Age, and it was an amazing atmosphere, amazing time. And I want to definitely go back and see them. But the problem I have is that since it's at Little Caesars Arena, the service fees at LCA are enormously high. And I'm sure the tickets are going to be decently priced. And I don't know. I'm
fairly priced.
Yeah. I said it earlier in the crew today. I'm trying to win tickets to it. So
sometimes it's the only way.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, it's cool to see that they actually are making a stop here in the Motor City. So
hell yeah,
profits.
Hell yeah. So that's the introduction for this episode. Let's get into some gas to go. We got a bunch of stuff to go over from this past weekend.
Yes, we do.
Kicking things off after practice on Saturday, which featured a Brad Keselowski running with the exit fence.
Man, that thing came out of nowhere, man. It just jumped up and bit him.
They just installed it right before you left for practice.
Yeah.
But we had the ARCA race, the Lucas Oil 200 from Daytona, where Michael Self wins his second career race at Daytona.
That boy was dialed in. I know he had a heartbreak of not winning the championship last year, but coming out strong, and that car was definitely the car to beat on Saturday. And the thing too is they were talking to his crew chief after. He's like, yeah, these What I forgot what tire, what make a tire they do.
General.
Yeah, General Tire. Yep. Yeah, they didn't change tires all race.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about that ARCA race, man, is you can do the whole thing on one set of tires. Um, and the thing I found, really interesting too is they had Ryan Blaney in the booth, and Ryan, very knowledgeable about
Oh,
those
yeah.
cars and all that. So it was a really good broadcast, really good race. Although I messaged you only one lap in, and I was like, "Well, we're starting already. Hey, we got to spin on lap one."
Yeah, and then you text me later. It's like, yeah, Natalie Decker at it again.
Yeah, and then we had Natalie Decker get in the wall after. Well, you know what? This brings up a good point. So Haley Deegan finished second, which was phenomenal. I believe it is the best finish by a woman in any form of ARCA, NASCAR, anything at Daytona.
I think she. Oh, at Daytona. Okay, all right, at Daytona. All right.
Yep, and that was really awesome. Earlier on in the race, she turned I believe it was the 11 car.
I think so.
She got the 11 car in the wrong place and turned him up in the wall. Very scary impact, hard impact.
Yes, it was very.
Fortunately, he was okay, which I believe collected Natalie Decker in that one, and that's when I texted you, Natalie at it again, just because it was the common theme of last year in the truck series.
Yep.
But then I go to Twitter the next day because I had to watch it on DVR. I watched it when I got home that night. And I just see people bashing Haley Deegan and saying, she's too aggressive. All they talk about is how aggressive she is, and she was, she really could have hurt someone there. And just
the wreck you're talking about, AJ. I'm sorry to cut you off there, but that was a single car incident. The Natalie Decker incident was the big one.
Okay.
So,
well,
like I said, I hate to cut you off, but
regardless of that,
yeah, I don't know why they're blaming her. I honestly don't. It's a racing incident.
So, I see people blaming her. I see people getting on her, and this is a time when, we should be celebrating the fact that, she finished second. This is her first trip to Daytona, and, she really held her own.
I would say so.
And then just the bashing, like, man, it's her first time on a super speedway. First time ever. First time in a draft. First time in a bump draft. First time with that many cars at the same speed around her. I thought she held her own. No one won their first time out.
Yeah, exactly. She's used to doing the half-mile thing in the K&N West Series to step up, like you say, at Daytona and finish second. Excuse me. Hats, my hat's off. Go ahead and finish. I got something to say after you're done.
Yeah, so I just seeing all the people get on her case for, being too aggressive at certain points and all that. I say, then what the hell was that on Sunday?
Yeah, no kidding.
She turned one car. We had guys that were involved in 4 different wrecks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're gonna bash someone because they're popular and they're up and coming and they're gaining headlines, and yet when they do something good, we have to look at the negatives of what happened.
Yeah, I'm getting sick and tired of that.
This is, like I said, I really think Haley Deegan's the one that could be the breakout woman in NASCAR.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. She's going to be the first one to win in a cup car. Mark my words. She's only 18 years old right now. The sky's the limit for her, and I hope somewhere down the line, maybe even this year, maybe she can work out a deal to run a truck race, maybe at Bristol, maybe at Martinsville, a short track. Then get her out there on Daytona in the truck and see what happens. Because she ran a great race, like we talked about the incident that happened on the back streets. That's just a racing deal. That's a racing incident.
One incident, man. I can't find another time in that race where she was overly aggressive or anything.
No.
I honestly thought she was very poised, very patient.
I did too. And the best thing is after the race, she's down pit road. She stops at the pit box, and there's mom and dad right there. And Brian Deegan, for those of you who don't know, X Games superstar, races, the street cars and everything like that. But man, oh man, he was the smile on those two parents' faces was unbelievable, and that was so happy to I was happy to see that for them to see their daughter succeed, finish second at Daytona. The smile on their faces was incredible.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good story that just had no reason to be bashed by. I mean, that's just the world we live in.
Yep.
It's gonna happen. You're gonna get it, but like, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of far fetched.
And I tell you what, if she had a little bit more experience at Daytona, I think she goes for the pass early.
Yeah, I thought you saw her try to make that pass, but it just wasn't there. You got to get
Yeah, she didn't
to
have
get
any
a
of the
pass in the
momentum
last
going.
lap. The stars have to align, and it just no one was coming out. It got to that real safe, protective style after the big one had happened. It is what it is.
Yeah. All
Um,
in like I said, I thought it was a very entertaining race.
Here's a guy that I'm really looking at in the ARCA series this year, Ryan.
All right.
Drew Dollar finished third. Former NHRA driver gets behind the wheel of an ARCA car and wheels it at Daytona to a third place finish.
Yep.
Kid was
Yeah.
on it all day, avoided every wreck possible, even when he had to go through the grass during the big one. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
went from a pit road penalty all the way back up to third. I'm interested to see how far that kid can go.
I am too. There was another guy, the dirt track guy. I can't remember his name right now, but he was running good. Then he had problems at the end. The 17 car, Deegan's teammate, excuse me, he was running good. Then he had some problems at the end.
Oh, that was Riley Herbst.
Yeah,
Riley Herbst.
Riley Herbst is in a Toyota at Monster, while
Oh, that's right. That one, Riley. Damn it.
yeah, 17.
I can't remember who the hell it was now.
I'm trying to find
Here
we go.
I had the damn leaderboard too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes me mad because no, it wasn't. That wasn't Riley. No. Oh man,
I'm trying to find it right now.
I can't believe I messed that up.
Here we go.
Tanner Gray.
Yeah, Tanner Gray. Yeah, he was running good. He had problems with the oil line, and that's when ARCA black flagged him. And then other than that, he was running good.
When he blew an oil line, the fact that he was still keeping speed like that was pretty interesting.
But there was another part too in that race that I found funnier than hell. They were driving on the backstretch, and you see the big piece of tire rubber, and I'm like, they're not going to.
Oh, they had to throw a caution. I mean, I'm sitting there watching that, going, how do you not throw a caution for that?
Exactly. And then they waited till after Gray blew up, and then they're like, okay, we're going to throw the caution now.
And even that took a little bit. Even it took a little bit there to throw the caution, which was like, another WTF moment.
Maybe that's why Newman and Byron spun on. We'll get it in a little bit later, but
yeah, they're top 5 in this one. Ryan, Michael Self, Haley Deegan, Drew Dollar, Sean Core, and Thad Moffitt.
How about Thad starting shotgun on the field?
Yeah.
Richard Petty's grandson too.
Mm-hmm. Driving was it the 43 in there too, or is it the?
Yeah, 43.
Same number style and everything.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We had Cup qualifying on Sunday to kick off the day, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. snags the pole, and that is huge for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and crew chief Brian Patty. Huge for JTG Daughtery Racing. Boy, but I'm scared.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth, and like I said, I'm happy for Ricky. I really am. Ricky is a really good guy. We talked about it on Thursday. What's the biggest story going into the off season? And we had mentioned Johnson retiring. I guess you could say that's a big story too. Stenhouse going over to JTG Daugherty Racing. Originally I thought he was supposed to be in the 37, but him and Ryan Priest switched. That was news to me that those two switched numbers, because I thought reading it last year he was going into the 37 car.
I've got one for you. I've got a conspiracy theory for you for Daytona qualifying.
Go ahead.
Who sponsored Daytona qualifying?
I did not see that.
Kroger sponsored Daytona qualifying. Who was the primary sponsor on Ricky Stenhouse's car?
Kroger.
Kroger. Ah ha ha!
Oh, there's your.
We got a tie-in. And by the way, Alex Bowman also qualified on the front row, so those two are secure so long as they don't wreck or something bad happens this week during the duels. I just want to say, once again, 2 Hendrick engines on the front row for Daytona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because JTD, JTG, man, that's a tongue twister. But the alliance with Hendrick is, and then Canassi has an alliance with Hendrick too.
Hendrick's supplying everything, but we're gonna get into the Chevy talk here in a second.
Oh, don't give me started.
So just some little things about the dual races coming up, Ryan.
Yeah.
Duel 1 is going to feature, your pole sitter, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin. Go ahead.
Chase is the only quote-unquote Hendrick car in that.
Yep, I was just about to get to that being the case.
I'm like.
But yeah, Chase, Hamlin, Almirola, Bell, Logano, Boyer, Newman, Truex, Keselowski, Blaney, Dillon. It is the who's who duel.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go to duel 2, which is Bowman, Johnson, Busch, Byron, Jones, Harvick.
I think Keselowski's in it too.
Custer, DeBenedetto. No, Keselowski's in the first one.
Yeah, Tyler Reddick, Larson,
Busch. I mean, there is.
Ross Chastain is in it.
That is, you got, like I said, you kind of got like a 3/4 of the who's who in NASCAR in the first duel, and then that final quarter is in this second duel.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be fun to see because a lot of those guys who have to race their way in are in that second duel.
I know Suarez has got to race his way in too. I did see that. I know that for sure.
I didn't know that Chastain had a charter for this one.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But
yeah. They said that during qualifying, and I know you weren't around for qualifying, but
no, I was at the grocery store, but I was able to listen to it on the Sirius XM Channel 90. I love it because they're during the qualifying. They showed they got on the they went to a commercial and they showed the top 5 on the screen in the car. That was pretty cool.
Yep. That's all I got for qualifying. You got anything else you want to add to that?
Not really. I mean,
surprised there was no speed from those Penske cars.
Yeah.
Usually,
but they were good yesterday in the Clash until incidents happened.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here next.
according to the Duel 2 is supposed to start at 8:45, and then the first one starts at 7.
I'm glad we're doing this tonight then.
Yeah, man, 8:45. I mean, it's only a 60 lap race if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, you saw how long it took it to run 75 laps yesterday, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Although yesterday, from what I heard, was the quickest. Was it the quickest or was it the longest?
Longest.
Okay, so the longest clash.
Yep.
So, who knows, man? I think it's gonna be real tame. I think it's gonna be really tame after what happened Sunday.
Oh, the
duels.
There's always that one duel. The one duel gets the incidents. It's either normally the first one, because I remember, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Duel 1 was wreck filled. Duel 2 had Kyle Busch. It had basically the Gibbs guys and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was the only one trying to make moves in that duel, but they all single filed around the top, and I'm like, that was kind of dull.
Yeah, I agree. I remember that year. I think Junior won one of those duels that year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's move on to the Busch Clash or Crash or whatever you want to call it, because, boy, I don't know what the hell that was yesterday.
I bet you Busch is glad to be back on board.
Yeah. We kicked things off with the Busch guy.
That was awesome.
But what's that?
I did a good command.
So Eric Jones gets help from lap down teammate Denny Hamlin to get the win, and that car was completely mangled. Somehow still fast. Somehow worked its way through the draft there at the end because we had a confusion in the booth where Jeff Gordon thought that Denny Hamlin was on the lead lap, even though he just said earlier he was a lap down.
He
He
said
was
that
wondering why he didn't go for the win.
He said that like 3 minutes ago, and then here they come around for the white flag there in turn 3. Oh, when is Denny gonna make the move? When's Denny gonna? Denny's a lap down, you dummy.
So, I mean, it was a really entertaining finish because
Yeah, it was.
after like 5 attempts at this green-white checker finish,
Man.
we had a 6-car battle between it was the teams of Eric Jones and Denny Hamlin, Ryan Newman and Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson and Clint Boyer. Was Clint Boyer that other guy there?
Yep.
And it was impressive because like Larson goes all the way from the back, takes the lead, then Austin Dillon and Ryan Newman come up to the front, then Newman passes Dillon, and then they get together and they go to the back, and I mean, like a bat out of hell, here comes the wrecked cars of Denny Hamlin and Eric Jones flying through all those cars.
I'm gonna say something. It reminded me of the tandem drafting way too much.
It did, but man, I was entertained by it. I don't remember being that entertained by tandem drafting.
I was entertained, but I could not stand the tandem drafting, and I hope that doesn't lead to what this rules package is.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we'll see. Come the duels, come the 500, we're gonna see. But yeah, it was great. Eric Jones winning, that was cool. Then you had the
Michigan guy, which is pretty cool. So
the exchange of the flag there at the end was I don't know if you saw, but the mom reached out.
A little awkward.
The mom reached out and apologized for what had happened, and I think they're sending them a signed Denny Hamlin hat.
Oh, all right.
But that was cool. Multiple big ones, like I said, though.
Yeah.
We started things off with Kyle Busch and Joey Logano, and Busch had the run. I gotta say, Kyle Busch had the run. Kyle Busch was there. Logano threw one too many blocks and threw them too aggressively, I thought. And really, I put that blame on Logano. I don't put it on Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, though, I mean, to me, it's racing. It's Logano trying to keep the lead. But you got to think, though, Logano, the Hendrick guys, and I think it was Austin Dillon and Kyle Larson pitted just right before they went back to green because they had that 25 or that caution at 25. So those guys are going in. They're trying to save fuel to the end. So they're running 60%. While the guys who came in, they got gas and everything like that. They're hauling ass. They're catching them. And then the blocking happens. And then around goes Logano and takes out Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski, who was not too happy.
No, I thought Brad Keselowski had the best car yesterday. And, and I thought that when Keselowski was catching that Chevy and Joey Logano pack, I was like, they were going to have some problems here. And when he got to the back bumper of Jimmy Johnson, I thought the wreck was going to happen there. I thought Johnson was going to go around and that was going to trigger it. But no, it happened when Kyle was trying to get around Joey, who, I got to say again, Kyle Busch had that position. He was at the quarter panel. He had the position. Joey was not clear when Joey came down.
Yeah, and I love the Kyle Busch interview too. They got
Michael Waltrip. Michael Waltrip somehow got an interview at Kyle.
Yeah, I know. Do you really need a driver or a former driver to talk to these drivers? Kyle Busch is hot-headed. I mean,
90% of any pit reporter would have just left it at the one-word response and walked off. No, Michael was certain. Michael Waltrip as a pit reporter might be the best form of Michael Waltrip I've ever seen.
What happened to Jamie Little? What happened to her?
Was she involved in a incident at, was it Sonoma last year? When she was on a bike? Was that her?
I'm not sure.
Was that her that got, she was on a bike and got hit? It might not have been her. And I don't want to say for sure it was her in case I'm wrong. But I mean, once again, though, it was only the Clash. I don't know if they're actually going to do this for the 500.
I would be all right with Mikey doing, infield care center reports. I mean,
But please give me more Michael Waltrip on pit road.
Oh, of course.
I'm trying to find out now what is going on with her.
Yeah, because she tweeted. I thought she tweeted a couple weeks ago that she's ready to get back to the track.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, Ryan, to be honest with you. I can't remember even if it was her from Sonoma. Someone's gonna have to let me know on that one.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Mike, then like when all the wrecked cars were in the garage and they're yelling at Michael to not get an interview with Chase, he's like, "I know what I'm doing. Don't yell at me."
That was great. I enjoyed that right there.
All out of breath and all that. Like, that is awesome. I need more of it.
I don't know if you've seen it too, but afterwards, Mikey's still talking, and you hear the guy he's like, "Sorry, Mikey," and Mikey's like, "Yeah, that's all right."
He had the full conversation with the with one of the crew guys.
Yeah.
I love Michael Waltrip being a pit reporter. I love it.
I'm surprised they didn't put him in the booth, to be honest with you.
I'd rather him on pit road than in the booth.
Yep.
It gives him a little bit more free range too.
Yes, it does.
So we get past the Busch and Logano wreck. Then we get to the restart wreck, which I don't know what happened. Someone didn't go, and then everyone got turned around and sideways. Newman spun the tires, and Byron got turned. Like, it was WTF. Exactly what I tweeted out.
I was thinking the same thing, and I'm like, you just park it.
Like, it was almost like they all wanted a red flag right there.
Oh, guys, let's get the red flag now. And everybody's like, man, there's this green, white checkers, and then...
Like, man. I can't even explain how that all happened, and I still think we're watching replays trying to figure that one out. Joey Logano had a huge patch of grass on his car.
I'll say it once. I've said it once before, and I'll say it again. More tracks need to do what Charlotte did with that synthetic grass.
Yeah.
You could have made a salad that could feed an entire pit crew, and then some, with as much grass that Logano had.
Some cows were upset after that.
Oh, very upset.
After that one, we had a wreck that I saw coming from a mile away, which was when Chase Elliott gets up the middle and starts bump drafting Denny Hamlin, and immediately Denny Hamlin's loose. This is on a restart, I should say.
Yep.
Denny Hamlin gets loose. Chase bumps him again, gets loose again. And then they get to the turn, and I go, this is not going to work. And sure enough, I believe they said that Hamlin cut a tire down, but for sure it didn't work. It sent another big one happening. This one leaving, like 7 cars left at that point?
Maybe 8.
7. Let's just say 7.
Yeah. There we go.
Because then the next restart happens, next green-white checker finish. This is all green-white checker NASCAR overtime.
Good thing they're not racing back to an imaginary line on the backstretch.
I saw someone say this is the last car stand, or this is the last driver, sponsored by Credit One Bank.
Yeah.
But no, then the next one happens, which is where Chase, man,
him and Larson.
He ain't at fault on the Hamlin one, but I feel like Chase is at fault on that second one.
Yeah,
I think he tried to make something out of nothing and try to take a run and go with it when he really couldn't or really shouldn't have. But hey, like Alan Gus was saying over the radio, you're going for the win, bud. You don't need to apologize.
There's no points. There's no points on the line. It's a check. It's a trophy.
Yep. So where I think he is at fault, I'm not upset with how he did it.
No. If this was the Daytona 500, I think
different story. I think it's a little bit more conservative there.
Exactly.
However, Larson got a little bit of damage from that, but not too much. The only car out in that incident was Chase Elliott, and we restart with 6 cars and had the finish that I just told you.
Yep.
The race was boring. It was single file for 65 of the 75 laps. The last 10 laps were entertaining as hell.
Yep.
Because
that second pack, when everybody was late, that like we said earlier, that was low on gas, 60% throttle, while like you said, those guys are coming at their pedals to the metal, and then that's when you said the racing got good.
Yeah, and I don't think that for the Rex. I think because that was when we actually saw some sort of racing happening. Guys trying to
Yeah.
make moves. Guys trying to get to the front. Guys trying to get out of Dodge or the craziness. That was really when it became a race. It was unfortunate that we only had 6 cars finish this race. But I want
Yeah.
to ask you, Ryan,
Yeah. What's up?
does it not seem that the changes that Chevy made are still a problem?
Um. Yeah, they're a major problem. You spent all off season trying to get these cars right. This new Camaro, they're a new body design, and you can't lock bumpers. Ford can do it. Toyota can do it, as it shows last night in the finish of that race. Denny Hamlin was damn near in the cockpit with Eric Jones yesterday. That's how good these guys were blocked together.
When the SS
They're,
was there, Chevy could lock then.
uh, during I forgot if it was the first practice or it was Daytona 500 practice, but Johnson's behind Byron and he gave they're trying to hook bumpers, they're trying to bump draft, and Byron got loose again, and then they switched up and the same thing happened. I don't get it. You spent all offseason trying to get this car right, and it's still not right. I don't get what they got going on or what is going on in the Chevy camp to not try to get these cars locked together.
And on top of that, that strategy yesterday was like a seriously moment because you make this deal to all stay together, and like the whole point of that deal is to like take advantage of the pit stop that happened after the 25 laps. Pitting early, pitting out of sequence with the other drivers, and instead I felt like they shot themselves in the foot, especially staying out for as long as they did. It worked out because they got a caution, but at what cost? You had 10 of your cars out of it.
Yes, he did. And then there's a part yesterday too in the clash where Byron and was leading the Chevy guys around the bottom of the track, while the Fords and Toyotas were up on top of the track, and they were not catching any momentum at all on the bottom.
No, and I understand why they were staying at the bottom though, because you're not catching that draft. You can still kind of stay separate from everybody else. I really hope this doesn't happen during the 500. I don't like the manufacturer alliances. Fortunately, in the dual races, you don't have too many of the same manufacturers in these dual races. It's pretty well split up. So,
which is good. And I think, like you said, I mean, yeah, at Talladega when Chase won that race, it was cool to see it. But then it's like, okay, you're in this.
If it was a one-off, it was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's like, well, the Chevy camp's going to be upset that they don't work together, or they're going to threaten to pull sponsorship or manufacturer. And it's like, seriously, this is racing. Look,
yeah.
What is it that Tony Stewart once said? Look up racing in the dictionary, then look up passing in the dictionary. Like, boys have at it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't think Dick Senior would like that? Hell no.
It was frustrating to see a little bit, and I hate single file racing at a super speedway. And I understand why it's being done. It's to avoid the big wrecks. It's to, it's to get on the same pit cycle. Like Dale Jr. said on Twitter, this race needs to be shortened, I think. There's no sense to drive around for 65 laps single file, and then at the end, everyone just goes for it. Make it a 20-lap race. We only have 10 laps of single file, and then we have guys, driving for the win.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be like that to the 500 until that final stage.
And that is going to be 190 laps of.
I mean, maybe at the end of the stages they'll get wide open, spread it out. But
I just know that last time I checked, it was supposed to be warm during the day, and that just means that you're going to see a lot of single file racing. Now, if that weather's changed, you could see cars getting in packs and stuff like that.
The last I saw in the weather report for Daytona on Sunday was 74 degrees. I know it's only Monday, but I can do my weather update.
Yeah, I actually got it right here, Ryan. I'm gonna steal your thunder for this one.
Oh, damn you.
For Daytona, as of right now, 74 is a high during the day. Real feel is 73, and there is a 13% possibility of precipitation. Not much, thank God. And
Yeah,
at
no,
night, a low of 61, which is not a bad day. I know
on
where
my
we're
app,
sitting. I'm gonna be bringing a sweatshirt, that's for sure.
my
But
app I'm using, I got 77 and
uh,
partly cloudy.
I just went off AccuWeather just now, so I don't.
I went off
It's what I
the,
trust. It's what I trust here.
but right now it's 69.
Let me have my glory right now of thinking
Yeah,
that
go
it's going to
ahead.
be 74 this weekend. All right. Before we get too far, your top five in this one:
Yeah, go ahead.
Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Clint Boyer, Kyle Larson, Ryan Newman, and might as well just throw the last running car of Denny Hamlin at sixth.
All right. So 6 of 18 cars were running.
6 of 18. We started with 18, ended with 6.
Just think in the 500, we're starting with 37. How many of those 37 are going to be running?
Honestly, if the race finishes with 3 cars, it might be a pretty entertaining deal.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if
It'd
it's
be
like
like,
your Brennan Gauns, your Quinn Huffs.
hmm
Like it'd be entertaining. Like you get those real low budget teams. Like Brennan Gaughan's not so much a low budget, but it kind of is. But you get 3 low budget cars and see what happens.
exactly.
Anything else you'd like to add, Brian, on the weekend?
No, nothing on the weekend. Like you said, just happy the cars are back on track.
Hell yeah! Let's get the tire rub. We got some news this week.
Left side. Pull this left rear fender out, left side.
So on news this week, we have a little bit of breaking news. We're going to play the sound effect for the first time this year.
Right.
So, your breaking news this week is Exalta has extended sponsorship at Hendrick Motorsports and William Byron for the next 5 years. Cool. It's a long-time sponsor of the sport.
Yep.
Continuing to be there. It's good. It's a good sign for the sport not dying.
Good sign for William Byron too.
Yeah, good sign for William Byron, who's got the special paint scheme on the car this weekend, which I think looks pretty badass.
Does you better get a picture of it for me?
If he can get the dual race where he's up towards the front, I can definitely do that for you. If not, it's going to end up like my chase picture I got from last year, which was from afar. But yeah, that's good news. Like I said, really good news.
Yes.
Speaking of some sponsorship and staying and news like that, Kevin Harvick, it was announced on Saturday, had signed a 2-year contract extension with Stewart Haas Racing. Kind of comes as a surprise for me because I thought that following his deal, he would go to the booth and start doing some broadcasting. Or like I think it was Jeffrey Williams was tweeting the podcast page on Saturday saying he thought it would be like a 1-year extension every year until he was finally ready.
Hang up the glass.
Did you know that this would make him the the oldest driver racing since Mark Martin?
Really?
That's what it would make him from something I had read on that.
I know he's 44 right now.
Yeah, it would make him 46, which I believe they said was it the same age that Mark Martin was when he retired?
I thought Mark was that, yeah, when he retired, yeah.
Which to me, Mark Martin always looked old, like just.
But you look at. Excuse me, hold on 1 second.
Like I might be off on that, but I'm trying to find out. So he drove until 2013.
Yeah, and the thing with Mark, he always looked like that though. But you would see the guy, and look how built the guy was, and it's like, okay, yeah, he can still do this.
As of 2008, he was 50. So okay, no, it wouldn't be the same age.
Yeah. It was the race at MIS where him and Junior got involved, and Junior was irate with Mark. and we seen him on a golf cart eating a hot dog, and he's red in the face, and yeah, Mark was not too happy at that time.
I just want you all to know that at 50 years of age, Mark Martin won like 4 or 5
Yeah,
races, and almost won the championship for Hendrick that year.
the thing that made me so mad was when they took Gustafson away from him. I was so angry at that move.
Yeah, but I mean, look at him now.
Yeah, I just
Still showing that he is still one of the top crew chiefs in the sport.
yeah, oh yeah. I was so angry. I'm like, Mark's got I when Mark was in the Valvoline car, the Folgers car, the Viagra car. It's like I never seen him win at MIS, never. And he was my driver. Him and Junior and but Mark was my driver. It was my dad's driver. It was all our drivers. My brother got to see him win twice. I was at the race at MIS where he lost his dad, and there was a late race pit stop. Evernham takes 2 tires with Gordon. Gordon goes on to the win, which I was irate that day. And my dad's like, I felt so bad for you that day because I thought Mark was going to win that race. And when it was a Father's Day gift, my brother and I bought tickets for Dad to go out there. When Johnson and Biffle run out of gas and Mark goes to the win, and that was the only time I seen Martin win, and I was so happy to see it. So especially there with our dad on Father's Day.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that story a long time ago
Oh
too.
yeah,
Like
oh,
that, you finally got to see him win.
yeah, yeah. Finally got to see, and then when Junior won, I finally seen him win twice. Woohoo!
I've seen him win once, only once.
Yep.
Seen Jimmy Johnson win twice. Seen Jeff Gordon win twice. Denny Hamlin twice.
Better not be a third time.
Yeah, right. I hope I see Chase finally win one.
There you go.
So,
It's so nice to see your driver win.
it is because I was only a little kid at the time, but in 2004 when Junior won the 500, I was there. So
Yeah, that must have been a hell of a treat.
I remember that place going nuts.
And the funniest thing too was the first Junior win. I got my cooler and I warned the people behind me. I'm like, if he wins, I'm dumping my ice water over my head for a celebration because I told them, I'm like, I've only seen my favorite driver win one time, and that was the Mark Martin. And they're like, oh man, you're good. We're Junior fans too. I'm like, all right, good shit. He comes by, the caution comes out, he takes the checkered flag, and I'm like, you guys are in there? Like, yeah, and we just dumped it all over our heads. I'm like, yeah.
It's all about the good times, man. It's all
Yes,
about those
sir.
memories being built.
Speaking of memories being built, Tony and I were on Xbox last night. I know I'm going off topic here, but we were reminiscing about our camping days out at the Speedway and how much fun that we had while we were out there from the racing to the party and to meeting the good people that were out there. So we were just reminiscing about that last night.
I might hop on with y'all later and
All right.
talk with y'all. Some Earnhardt news. Jeffrey Earnhardt joins JD Motorsports for a limited Xfinity schedule, starting in Atlanta.
Oh, nice.
So there's some Jeffrey Earnhardt news for those wondering about what his schedule is going to look like for 2020.
I hope Junior Motorsports brings him on. I don't know why they haven't. Maybe there must be. Why not put him in the 9 car?
Yeah, or even the 8. It's a rotating door.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, you
know.
could put him in the 8 car. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah,
Because he kind of got messed over in the 18 car. So
which there was no IK9 sponsorship on Deegan's car this weekend.
no, there wasn't.
I think I sent that to you earlier.
Yep.
NASCAR appears interested in a street race. According to Adam Stern, Steve Phelps has effectively confirmed that NASCAR is exploring a street race around a football stadium, saying there are opportunities that we are exploring that might seem radically different. Soldier Field, LA Coliseum, among those mentioned.
Yeah, I seen that. They ran a race in 1957 at Soldier Field. Fireball Roberts won that race at Soldier Field. So it would be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, I would like to see it, to be honest with you.
I'm all for trying new things, but if that happens, what are they going to take away?
Indy.
Good answer. Great answer.
Man, I thought about last week after you said that you're looking forward to that doubleheader at Pocono. I'm really interested to see how that works too.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. They like I said, the IndyCar runs a doubleheader weekend out at on Belle Isle in the street course. So
I think they
it
do it at
definitely.
Tampa too, or St.
What's that?
Pete. They do it the
Yeah.
same at St. Pete, I think.
So
So we got some social media to go over, Ryan. So let's
real
get to it.
quick, real quick, AJ. Hold on a second there. Or did you already play the music?
Nope.
All right. So you know how we took our little time off last year. But prior to that, it was the Charlotte Roval. They brought Joseph Newgarden in an Indy car out there to do the test out there. Question to ask you and the fans of the show: would you like to see a NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader weekend out at the Charlotte Roval?
Not opposed.
I am for it.
I'm not opposed because you don't run the trucks that weekend there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Why not? Why not have? And then everybody's like, I've seen people like, oh no, both the organizations, both team or series are peg-headed. Okay, well, if that's the case, if you're doing it, if you sign a multiple year deal, say you do a four-year deal. First year, IndyCar runs Saturday, NASCAR runs Sunday. Following year, NASCAR runs Saturday, IndyCar runs Sunday, and flip it around because I'm sure it would work. I think it'd be a great idea. I think it's a great idea. I know they've been talking about this in the past about possibly doing something like this. I'm for it.
see what happens and run with it. I
Yeah,
mean, what's the worst that happens? You have one weekend that was, not to do it again, but I mean, it was still worth a try.
yeah, exactly. Plus, you could still throw the Xfinity cars out there too. They could have a double header race like how they do the trucks and Xfinity cars at Atlanta.
I thought they did trucks and IndyCar at was it
Yeah, yeah,
Texas?
yeah. Trucks and IndyCar go to Texas, and then I think Iowa too as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
like I said, I'm not opposed to it. I am all for it. And if they do it, if it's at the Roval, if it's somewhere else, if it's somewhere close, I may be there. I would love to see it.
It'd be interesting. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
because Newgarden, I don't know if you saw it, he was running some damn good laps on that place.
He said he enjoyed it too. He enjoyed the
Yeah,
course.
yeah, he did. He's like, hey, I like the bumps, and he's like, I never realized how bumpy the infield was. So,
All right, social media. Let's get to it.
go ahead.
Social media, we are up to 1,974 downloads on Podbean, iTunes, and Stitcher. 325 followers on Twitter, 75 likes on Facebook, 25 subscribers on YouTube. No new follower shoutouts this week, unfortunately. Podcast shoutouts are, as always, the Lap Traffic Podcast, the PTM Racing Podcast, 3 Wide Podcast, the Side Draft Podcast, All Turns No Breaks Podcast, and the Final Lap Weekly. Some places you can find us on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and YouTube by searching in your search bar of the Loose Lugs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, turn on that notification bell so this way you get notified every time we upload new content, and so you can hear Ryan's careless whisper.
Ding, 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 ding.
I need to put a little sound effect, a little trumpet playing in the background, or saxophone.
That's right.
On Twitter, we are at Lugs Podcast. You can tweet us about the show using the hashtag LugsPod. And don't forget, we're kind of trying to get something together for a 500 follower giveaway. So, retweet us, tell your friends about us, try to see what you can do to get us 500 and see what we can do for it. On Facebook, in your search bar, we are the Loose Lugs Podcast, and our personal Twitter handles is myself at GreyGooseF150 and Ryan.
RN Cola 88.
Ryan, it is time for a rant this week. You told me you had one already planned out, so take the floor, my friend.
All right. Well, guys, welcome back. Welcome to your first Ryan's rant of the 2020 NASCAR season. Not even at the Daytona 500 yet, and I already have a rant. And it's with the body of the Chevy. I know I mentioned it earlier. All off season, you couldn't get this damn thing right. And now it's going to be a big disadvantage, in my personal opinion, for the Daytona 500. Please get somebody on it right away, because Johnson said it in his his Busch crash, try to say that 10 times fast, that he's going to have to work on more handling, is what he's going to say, or what he said that the team is going to have to do this week, preparing for the Daytona 500. A more handling race car, not speed, but handling. So, yes, please get it together. And also, can the announcers study the drivers and the cars? I mean, I understand it's new teams, new sponsors. I get that, but come on, guys, get with the program.
Can I just say
Yeah, go ahead.
that you said say Busch crash 10 times really fast?
Yeah.
Well, we had pretty much like 10 Busch crashes, so
Yeah, we did.
there you have it.
All right. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't get. I don't get. Ford and Toyota can do it. Snap of the finger, perfect. They showed at the finish. Why can't Chevy get it right?
I think it has to do with that pointed nose. The SS had a rounded nose. The Camaro has a more pointed V-shaped nose. Where you look at the Camry XSE and the Ford Mustang, both have that flat round nose, which fit perfectly on the flat back bumper of every other car in the field. Lets them push a little bit more. As soon as that Chevy bumps a car in the corner, they're getting sent off into the turn.
Of course.
It's just, I agree. Something needs to be done, but then again, I look at this as a short-term problem now because we have the new generation car coming out. The production of the Camaro is no more. They're not making any new ones after this year. Therefore, Chevy has to find a car to replace it, which I, for some reason, think it's going to be the Vet, and I hope it's not because that also has a pointed front nose.
Yeah.
But regardless, they'll have to work on something for that.
Yes. And it's not really a rant, but you watched practice on Saturday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
They have Larry McReynolds down in Daytona. He's in the garage. He's talking to all the crew chiefs, enjoying himself, having a good time back at the track. Sunday comes for qualifying in the Busch Clash. Where's Larry Mack?
Oh, Ryan's on his search for Larry Mack.
Back in North Carolina. Why not keep him at the track?
Sounds like, I mean, they're probably spending a lot of money on flying him back and forth. You would have to think. It ain't coming out of his pocket.
Well, no. So I'm sure he don't care. But honestly, why have him down there Saturday? Why have him down there Saturday for, everything like that? And so just to have him go back into his little stand at the Charlotte studio.
I got to tell you something after the show. Remind me to tell you about it. It has to do with Jamie Mack.
All right.
So you have Larry Mack and Jamie Mack.
Stump the Max.
All right, Ryan, white flag. Let's get us some predict. We got a big week ahead.
Yes, we do.
Tight, keep working the mirrors. In line with you, coming to the white. Only two.
So these are our predictions. As you know, the white flag segment consists of us picking drivers to win in each series and getting points based on the season. Last year, even though the season was shortened, I don't care if the season went on, if we did it all year, Ryan was locked to win. So, Ryan.
Yes, what's up?
This year, we are going to do it as follows. A win is 2 points. A sleeper win is 5 points. A sleeper is someone who we deem, what we deem a sleeper is a driver who has less than 5 Cup Series wins. Just for a better place finish, you get 1 point, and that only works for the Cup driver that you pick. You can use a driver 2 times in a year. In the playoffs, it resets, but you can only use the playoff drivers 1 time. Sleepers are unlimited. Doesn't matter what happens. And I don't know if we're going to do anything for any special deal for... I don't know if we're going to maybe do a 4 points for a win in the playoffs or something like that, maybe. 10 points for a sleeper win.
Yeah, do something like that.
But that is how we're going to do it.
The duels don't count for a pick, do they?
Only if you win it. If you win it, I'll give you a point.
Okay.
You get a point for a dual win.
Okay.
Ryan, I will let you go first since you won last year. Go ahead. Who you got for the duels?
In the duel, give me duel 1. Give me Eric Almirola, and for my dark horse in it, give me Chris Buescher.
We're not gonna do dark horses for the duels.
Oh damn it! I had a good dark horse too.
I don't. I feel like that's kind of cheap. You got a shortened field.
It doesn't matter. Duel 2. Give me Eric Jones.
That Jones boy.
Yeah.
I'm going with my one homer pick of the weekend. My one solo homer pick. Technically I got 2.
Okay.
But I'm picking Chase in the first duel.
Okay.
Only because the only driver who's in front of him is Stenhouse.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick Jimmy Johnson to win his final duel race.
Good answer. I like those.
In the truck series, Ryan, who are you going with?
You got those written down, by the way, right?
Yes.
The picks. All right, cool. All right, so I, the truckers give me Tyler Ankrum.
Tyler Ankrum. I'm going Johnny Sauter. That's my second homer pick.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
On the Xfinity series, Ryan, who are you going with?
Give me Justin Allgaier.
See, I was debating on Justin Allgaier and this cat named Noah Gregson is who I'm going with on that one.
Good answer.
On the Cup Series side, for the Daytona 500, Ryan, who is the winner?
Give me the 9 of Chase Elliott.
Oh, I like you. I did not go with a homer pick for this one. In fact,
I got a dark horse too.
In fact, I played a strategic game.
Did you now?
For my Cup winner, because I have to use certain drivers twice.
Yep.
I'm going to save my big-time drivers. I'm going to pick Bubba Wallace to win the race.
All right.
But for my sleeper pick, and this is where I'm going to get you, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
I didn't even give you my dark horse pick.
Oh, that's right. You didn't. Well, that's mine. You can't steal it. I was a dark horse all last year, so I get to pick that one first.
Okay. My dark horse is Christopher Bell.
I like that one too. I was really thinking about putting Bell in there too for my dual race.
That car last year with the Benedetto was up there leading laps. And I tell you what, future's bright for the rookie class this year.
I agree, man. I mean, you have 8 drivers that are rookies this year that are all solid.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the 2003 NBA draft. That talent-wise.
Yeah, I know who was in that one. We're just going to keep going here. Your lap of the first caution, Ryan, for an extra point.
Darko. Come on, Darko. Give me lap 37.
Ryan's going lap 37. This is for a bonus half point, by the way. We're just going to do a half point. If you can you have to get the number right. If you don't get it right, then no points are awarded. I'm going with lap 23.
All right.
Just stuck out to me for some reason or another. And yeah, that's what I've got. I can't wait to be in Daytona this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. But by the way, tickets are on sale for the 2021 Daytona 500 too.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I got an email.
Because usually they give me a ticket renewal thing, and they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I got an
Unless
email.
Unless they're doing maybe packages or something.
The wheels are spinning in the head. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I'll be there, so.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I'm looking into obviously lodging, how to get down there, whether it be flying or driving, and if the wife wants to come with.
That would be fun. It'd be fun to have you here. We could do a Lugs pod live from
Daytona.
Daytona.
Hey, make sure you go to the tweet up this weekend, would you?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get that to work. This is if I'm planning it right. I should get to Daytona around 8:30, I think it was.
Now, are you driving back that night? Or are you?
No, I'm getting a hotel that night.
All right, good stuff. Now, are you getting in Daytona?
Yes, I'm 6 miles away from the track.
By the way, I found Jamie Little. She's at the Westminster Dog Kennel.
Oh, that's where she was. I don't care. Keep Michael Waltrip doing pit stuff.
Yep. Oh, she loves the doggy. She's petting the doggy.
Ryan, you get to hit him with it.
Oh, guys, well, I'll let AJ do the honors this weekend since AJ, you're going to be there, so go do it.
Ryan, you go ahead and tell everyone goodbye then, and then I'll.
All right, well, guys, I hope everybody enjoys the duels on Thursday. I know I'm pumped, ready for it. Ready for Daytona this weekend, guys.
Hell yeah.
It's been awesome. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in this week. Sorry if that was really loud in your ear. Special thanks. What's that?
I said, "Oh, my ears! I can't hear now."
Special thanks to Patrick for coming out in our chat, talking with us, getting excited for Daytona. Thanks everyone who downloaded this podcast, tuned in tonight in this early edition of the Loose Lugs podcast. Once again, thank you for downloading and all that and sticking with us. That'll do it. It's finally Daytona 500 weekend, and in Ryan's famous words, with a little tweak this week, I will see you at the track. Daytona, baby, let's get it.